I wanted to make this video. It doesn't have anything to do with any kind of pertinent information that's going on at the moment, but it does have something to do about preparedness, and really just for anybody, everyday, whoever, everyday travel, whatever. Kay Cottrell, I don't know if you know for sure who she is. She used to be an actress, but she has mostly, I guess, given that up, except for on YouTube. She's got a channel now called The Late Bloomer, Kay Cottrell, The Late Bloomer. She does a lot of gardening and just a lot of vlogging, and sweet lady. And she had an incident happen last night to her automobile, and she's put out a video about it. She was posting last night asking for prayers because she unfortunately ran into a large piece of debris on the interstate in Nashville, and pretty much immediately flattened her tire. And it was just a little bit after dark, and she ended up being stranded there on the side of the interstate. And first and foremost, that is a very nerve-wracking thing, and you should be nervous, and you should do everything you can not to get stranded on the side of the interstate over anything. My best advice would be, and I've done this in the past, and if it ever happens to me, I pray to God not again. I drive as far as I could to get towards trying to get off of an interstate, or looking for the widest shoulder possibility that you have if you need to get off the road. But what she brought up was this just really valid point, and it happened to her, and I'm going to tell you because just from personal experience. A Good Samaritan pulled off almost right behind her and was going to change her tire for her, and they found out she didn't have a spare. So that is my point to this video. Most new vehicles nowadays do not come with a spare tire. If that is something that means a lot to you, and you're shopping for a car or a truck or a van or an SUV, you need to find that out before you take that vehicle off the lot. A lot of companies, and she has a Toyota, and I gotta say, I was kind of surprised that she didn't have one for a Toyota. But a lot of companies are just doing away with it. They're cutting costs, I presume. They're cutting room. They want to put more and more electronic parts in there, and they need space, and so they don't put a tire because that can give them a little bit more space to put something else, is my theory. But I'll say this: I have a Dodge Caravan. It did not come with a spare tire. I did not know it did not come with a spare tire until I had driven all the way to South Florida and back. I had driven around in a disaster zone while I was in South Florida, and I just thank God how blessed I was not to get a flat. I saw probably between 25 and 30 vehicles on the side of the roads, mostly down there while I was in South Florida, but also, along the side of the roads of the interstates, and it was people with flat tires. So I just wonder how many thousands of people nowadays are finding out that they're not equipped with a spare tire in their vehicle. Now, what they are giving, which I did not even have that in my Dodge Caravan, a lot of the companies are giving a very, very inexpensive tire inflator. That they're giving that. They're giving some of them a patch kit, and some of them a can of Fix-A-Flat. Apparently the Dodge Caravan did come with an inflator and a can of Fix-A-Flat, which were all gone by the time I had bought this vehicle. Thankfully, nothing happened to me before I found out that I didn't have a spare. So what I did was some searching around, and it was actually Sony who ended up finding, because I don't do Facebook, she was on Facebook Marketplace, found a full-size spare for me, so that I was able to be equipped. I thought to myself, if I've got to buy a spare tire for this vehicle, I'm not going to buy a factory donut size that I would pay through the roof for. I even went to a couple junkyards, if you will. Well, I went to one, I called one. The one I went to, the people said, yeah, we got a few Dodges back there. You can go back there and look around if you want and see if you find a tire that you can use. But they did not get parts for you. It was what's called a pull apart. Well, I didn't really want to, but I thought, well, if I have to, I will. But you got to go, you got to take your own equipment and, take off those tires on your own. I'm sure that would have been the cheapest thing to do, but I didn't really want to have to go through all that. So, along with not getting a spare tire, most of those vehicles, I've found out, don't even come with a jack. So, I'm just wondering how many people are out driving on the roads every day, taking long trips. I mean, Kay Cottrell had drove, when she moved to Tennessee in October of 2020, she drove that vehicle all the way from California to Tennessee with no knowledge that she didn't have any of that equipment in her vehicle. So, this is a public service announcement. Check your tires. Make sure that you have everything like that you need. Now, me, and I'm sure most of my audience, being of the prepared mind, which I say that, but like I say, I still made that mistake of just assuming that I had that stuff, that it comes standard, and it did not. But being of the prepared mind, I generally always do carry a can of Fix-A-Flat, and I've used it in the past, and some people say you shouldn't, but it has gotten me out of a couple jams way back years ago. So at the very least, carry yourself a can of that. If you have a flat on the side of the road and you have to go somewhere to get that tire fixed, once you put that Fix-A-Flat in there, make sure you tell the people, whoever you're going to go to do the work on the tire or whatever, make sure you tell them that you have put Fix-A-Flat into your tire. But check your vehicles, make sure you have all of that equipment. I do carry, and even years before I ever started carrying all of my, what I would call my gear, I would always carry a little small car bag with jumper cables, just some minor things like that, a little safety vest, some safety triangles, a first aid kit. Very, very, very important that you carry a first aid kit in your vehicle. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what you're going to run up on. But my urgency of this video today is in seeing Kay Cottrell's video and knowing how many people probably in my audience maybe are not aware that your vehicle is not equipped with things that you would need to get you back up and going and get you off the side of the road, which is a very, very dangerous situation in my opinion. So, one more time, let me reiterate. Also, let me say this really quickly. I went to Harbor Freight and I bought a jack to carry in my vehicle at all times. Thankfully, I have a lot of storage space in here, so I bought a big jack. You can buy a little small jack. It's a lot cheaper, takes up a lot less space, but I went ahead and went for it. Bought one of the big floor jacks because I have enough space for that. So make sure, check your vehicles, make sure you have those emergency backup pieces of equipment that are very vital to keep you safe. Now, you can also have AAA or any other type of car clubs if you're not in the US, or you have something privately, or maybe your insurance offers your roadside assistance. But here's the thing. Do you want to be sitting on the side of the interstate taking your chances in the dark that some crazy driver is not going to come through there and run you over because they're looking at their cell phone, or they're who knows what they're doing? You don't want to take those chances of having to get a hold of your AAA, get a hold of your insurance, and have to wait anywhere probably from 1 to 5 hours for a repair to happen. Or if you're out west somewhere, if you're out where there's not a lot going on, you may be waiting for a day or two. Do you want to be stuck on the side of an interstate for a day or two if you can do everything you can to avoid that? I would say no. So, please, please, please check your vehicles. Make sure that you have emergency backup equipment, like either a spare tire. Get yourself a tire. Find somewhere to store it in your vehicle. At the very least, get yourself a can of Fix-A-Flat. Get yourself a jack. Get yourself a set of booster cables. Get yourself those road triangles. Get yourself that first aid kit. I beg you for that. I'll be back later on. I'm just keeping my nose to the grindstone and keeping my nose in the news that's going on, and there's so much going on right now that you don't even know how to talk about it all, or I don't anyway. But I got something huge I've got to work on this evening. I don't know if I'll be back for another video tonight or not, but I do have a couple of really big things I'm hoping to put out this week. So much love, and check your tires.